And now joined on the phone by the University of Kentucky football coach, Mark Stoops, who had a big early signing day. And, Mark, I know it's been a chaotic few weeks with a lot going on, but when all was said and done yesterday, you had to be pretty happy with what you ended up with.
Yeah, I really was. I think, we all know, we talked about it. I think, after to start of last year, I think we just had a relatively slow start. But I also think part of that was just us, and we were being very disciplined on who we wanted. Instead of just going out and offering everybody and going crazy with that, I mean, we were very specific and targeted guys, for much of this past year. And, some guys we had to be very patient with and wait. And take it into November and into December, and I loved the way we closed. I really felt like, obviously with the addition of transfers, which I know you'll get to, but with even at the high school level and certainly with the transfers, the way we closed was about as good as we can. And we have one more big time guy out there that's a lightning bolt that can go, and he's a playmaker, an offensive playmaker that. I believe, we have a good chance to still get in the boat, and that would really be a home run for us to get that.
He just teased us.
I know who he's talking about. If they are able to pull that one, that will be a really good one. Just out of curiosity, if you were able to, when would we maybe hear that?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. We're still working on that daily, and so it might maybe here in the next 48 hours, but it may be in January.
Okay. Well, let's talk about because it's interesting. Your analysis there is kind of like what mine was. It was a little surprising. It just as an outsider that it felt like a kind of a slow start, but you really did close strong. Got a couple of flips at the end. Some guys you were targeting for a long time. Some people that people thought might waver ended up signing. I mean, it really at the end of the day, the last 2 or 3, 4 weeks really went well. What do you attribute that to?
Yeah, I just feel like we were really steady. The staff was just really steady. We didn't panic. With everything that goes on right now, and people have a tendency to overreact. Sometimes, and get worry about it. And we, and there was moments through the year when I was getting on the staff and challenging them, but the staff felt good. I think the staff was zeroed in on certain guys. We felt good about them in the long run, and ultimately we got that. We went down the signing day, even at backer. We got Javion Brown, out of St. Thomas, and there was 1 or 2 others that we were right in on that we could have got. Maybe we got one, didn't get another one, and so. There was things like that going down to the end. Kamari Anderson, we pick up him late, but then you look at it and you feel like the 3 wideouts, we really felt good about those guys the entire time, with AB, with Anthony Brown and Shamar and Ardell. I mean, those are 3 impactful wide receivers. Once again, we felt really solid at the offensive line from the beginning. We knew we needed to get some good high school guys, of course, to continue to build that. And be consistent there for the future, but also bring in some experience and some length and a left tackle, and we were able to hit that. So really good. And again, the same way with the DBs. I feel like we brought in a bunch of good DBs in a mixture. Some guys that could help us right away next year, and some guys that are just really good for the future of our program. So I really very, very pleased with the way things closed out. Like I said, if we get this one more guy that's a playmaker that's a home run when he gets the ball in his hands, that's something I felt. Like we really needed as well, like a home run back. You bring a guy like Ray David, and he's a proven winner in the SEC, and the way he runs, and he fits our mold perfectly. And then you complement him with a guy that could take it to the house at any moment. That's what we're looking for. So
yeah, I know who he's talking about. We can't say it.
Another tease.
He just keeps teasing. Be a heck of a get. All right, let me ask you about the transfers, because one thing that's clear is you all have killed it in the transfer portal every year, and this year's no different. You mentioned Ray Davis, and then you also had the offensive lineman from Northern Illinois. So I have 2 questions. One, do you pick the guys who come here and play good against us? And then 2, talk to me about Devin Leary. I mean, number 1 quarterback in the portal. Pretty much everybody in the country wanted him. How big is it for you to get him? And tell fans what you have coming.
Yeah, no doubt. The first question, yes, we were definitely impressed with Marcus. Cox the way he played against us. And, I don't know. People could have different evaluations and different things, but, in our eyes and several other coaches I know, and, Power 5 schools that were in need and looking, felt like he was the number one left tackle out there, and so we knew we needed a left tackle. And, Marcus has been a joy to recruit. He's a really fun guy, and he's anxious to get going, and he's one that was a big time need for us. And then obviously we bolstered the inside of our interior part of our line as well. You could kick Kenneth inside, which is very important for us, but you also pick up Tanner Bowles, who gives you a lot of experience and that strength inside. So, really feel like we improved our offensive line, without a doubt. And then with Devin Leary, definitely he was, the guy that, if you were in the market for a transfer quarterback, then, he was one that every single team wanted. And, he has the experience. He has the mobility. He's played a lot of football games. He's a leader. And, and with us, it kind of fit perfectly. To me, it sends a message to my young kids that are on campus that I do believe in you, because there was a bunch of quarterbacks that you could go get a really good guy with 2 or 3 years left, certainly 2. And, I want to continue to let the young guys in our program grow. And they also understand that. Without proving it to this point, I had to go, get somebody to put us in a position next year to go compete for championships like we want to. And that's not to say that our young guys won't, but at this point, I had to protect the program. I had to look at the whole program, and I still feel like there's guys on campus that'll do that. But now they don't feel the rush that, oh man, I got to sit behind a guy that they brought in for 2 years or 3 years or any of that. Devin's going to be a one and done, but that's okay. I think it's a nice bridge for us.
On this question, say whatever you can, and if you can't, I understand. But I would assume when you're getting a quarterback, when you're getting a running back, you have to have some notion of what your offense is going to look like. So how do you go about selling this program to a quarterback when you haven't yet been able to, for whatever reason, name the offensive coordinator? How does one do that?
Well, because they know very clearly what I want to do. Like you said, Matt, and I understand. I mean, believe me, I'm as transparent as I can be with you, with the media, with the fans. I mean, I'm not one of those guys that just tries to, pull some rabbit out of a hat or try to play games or hold things or whatever. I mean, but there's other things involved when you're dealing with contracts, when you're dealing with people, when you're dealing with other people's lives, things of that nature. It's just when the time comes, it'll come. I think everybody knows what vision I want and where we want to go. And, obviously these players believe that's going to happen as well, or they wouldn't do it, or they wouldn't come in and, or didn't have confidence in what I was going to do offensively and what direction I was going and the people that I'm interested in. So, these guys, he could go anywhere he wants, what I mean? And, so Devin Leary, is a very thorough, impressive young man. And he could have went to many, many places, and he does his homework and he's very diligent. And what I really liked about him, he was right on point. I think when he was on our campus, he wanted to commit, but he wanted to stay true and see this process through, go to some other schools, go back home, look his mom and dad in the eye, talk to them as a family, and say, this is what I want to do. And that's exactly what he did.
So, you've always done a good job at getting, whether it's transfers or high school kids, on defense, on the offensive line. But what's it been like in the last 2 years to get Dane Key and Barron Brown, and then to get the kid from Nashville and Anthony Brown, and then to be able to get the number one quarterback? I mean, you've got to be excited about the decision you made really 2 years ago when you first brought in Cohen, and how that's been able to sort of change what you've been able to attract at those skill positions.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, yeah, you mentioned Shamar, you know what I mean? And I think he's a really good get. AB is a big time player. Ardell the same way, and then, you look at some of the big guys. I mean, Kobe Keenum, stuck with us, that got a bunch of attention late, and we certainly needed him. And then even getting Kamari kind of late, that kind of playmaker. But yeah, picking up a Ray Davis and picking up Devin Leary and guys like that, and Marcus Cox, number one, a big time left tackle out of the portal, says a lot about what we're doing. And offensively, Matt, I think this 2 years ago. That's when I made that commitment. Like, I want to be fun to watch. I want to move the ball. I want to throw the ball. You know what I mean? And be balanced. I mean, that's just not lip service. Believe me. I have plenty of security. I've been here a long time, won a lot of games. I mean, yes, ultimately I want to win a football game. That's my job, to put us in a position to win. But I also definitely want to be entertaining. I definitely want to always evaluate our program and say we need to be better here. I think I've been honest about that. Yeah, we may be very strong or very good in this area, but other areas we're falling short. Let's address them. Let's not hide from them. It's a problem, and I'm going to attack it and try to get it better. We did that, maybe 2 years ago. I felt like we were very entertaining. This year we were off. It wasn't good, and I take that responsibility. That's on me. And, very quickly I got to move and get it right. And I really feel like we have the pieces in place right now to go right back at it. And, Matt, that's not always been the case. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That we can't just reload or punch guys in or go hire the right coordinator or get the right people to say, hey, let's go right back to reattacking. And let's go right back to who we are. I think big picture program, I think I got to really, I shoulder like some responsibility. I look at this program and I'm like, listen, I got to get back to like being who we are. Like, we can't ever stray from who we are, and I need to do a better job of like reinvesting more of my time. Listen, I get spread thin, and to all my friends and people in Lexington that I don't get to see, I see nobody, you know what I mean? Like, I'm busy, but I got to invest in this team and these players because that's what it takes right now. It's overwhelming at times, but that's what it takes. Our assistant coaches and the head coach, we got to pour into these players, and we got to set that culture, and we got to have a great off season. And that comes with hard work, but it also comes with engaging with them and relationships with them. And that's where we have to be.
I have a lot of stuff I want to talk to you about, but we don't really have time here.
Yeah.
We'll bring you back after the bowl game to talk NIL and that kind of stuff. You can
keep on going if you want. I'm good right now if you want to keep on going.
All right, well, there you go. All right, well, let me do my question on the bowl game real quick.
Yeah.
How do you see this bowl game? Obviously, Will not playing, Chris and Carrington, but as far as I know, everybody else is playing. You tell me if that's not correct. And then like at the quarterback position, are we going to see all three of those guys? Like, how are you looking at this bowl game?
Yeah, I got to, honestly, the quarterback position is the big one, and the quarterbacks have made it hard on us because. It is hard, Matt. Let's be honest. You're down players, okay? You got the transfer portal guys. You guys that are hurt. You got the guys that are not playing, the opt-outs. And so you don't have as many bodies. So actually the people that pay for that the most are the quarterbacks because they need a bunch of reps, right? Whether they're throwing to anybody or just running plays, they need the reps. And it's hard for us to get as many high volume, intense reps as we need to get a good look at those quarterbacks. So they all have been, all have their moments, been up and down. And so I'm not ready to tip my hand on what I want to do at the quarterback position. I think there's a good chance you could see all three. But if somebody goes in and lights it up and plays real well, then we'll see, So I don't have a clear answer. I'm not keeping that from you. Part of it is that I don't want to tip my hand.
Yeah, I understand.
And part of it is there's going to be, there's going to be multiple players in there. As far as going to the game, I think it is a different era. Let's face it. If you just look at college sports, I was about to say college football, but it certainly affects everybody. The last, 12 months, 24 months has been drastic change. You know what I mean? And so this is very different. It's evolving fast. Yes, I can understand some people, like even us, we had high aspirations to do things. Okay, you come up a play short here, play short there, maybe, underperform here. I don't have them ready. Things happen. Season, it is what it is. I'm not running from that. But it's still an opportunity to go there. I still really enjoy, the guys that are there, the guys that weren't happy and they need to get in the pool. That's fine. I support them 100%. And I always have. But then it's it gives new opportunities. So now you bring up some guys that maybe have been redshirting all year, and that gives them a head start for spring practice. And you also just want to see them out there playing. just like the quarterbacks and even some of the young wideouts. So, it's just another opportunity for us to go out there and compete. And our players are very good. They've handled themselves extremely well on campus. I just gave them a break. We just broke yesterday, but that's hard. Everybody goes home. It's a long season. They're sitting here practicing in meetings, doing all these things. And that's not easy. That's why it's easy to quit. It's easy to opt out. It's easy to, do other things. But, to stick with it and to grind it out and to go compete and play an Iowa team, it's going to be the same way. Listen, I know it's not fancy. I know it's not like going to be record-setting points and all that stuff. But I can tell you this: they're going to be a bunch of tough dudes. You know what I mean? That have a lot of pride and that are there to win. That's us. That's what I want to be.
That's what I was going to say. You guys are these two programs. I think are a lot alike in some ways.
Yeah, I want to be tough, but I want a lot of pride in our program. I want to go there and compete, and I want to go to compete to win.
All right, so the NIL thing is very, complicated. I get that, and I have a couple minutes. I will have to go to break. So tell me this. Yeah. It feels like to me, we had you on about 3 months ago, and you said, look, we're not where we need to be NIL-wise. It feels like we're moving in the right direction, but there's still a lot to be done. Am I right about that? Yeah. How do you see where we are right now?
You are, and I want to say this. The last time we were on, I think, early on in the summer, maybe people read in the I get a lot of things. I don't know. I need to be more clear. I seem like I'm a pretty clear guy, but sometimes people were reading into some of my stuff earlier in the year, and I don't like that when people spin it the wrong way. Early on, I felt like, we needed to get some things done, and there was urgency across the board on how we get this handled. And then I thought Mitch and our athletic department and administration, our leaders really did. They stepped up and said, okay, here's how we do this. We vetted it. It's legal. It's, we're going to do things right. And we're, and put the stamp of approval on it, if you will. And we started moving in that direction. Now, Matt, then it gets to the point where it's like, yes, it's like anything. There's never enough. I mean, we're competing. We have our collective, the 15, up and running. And thank you to the people that have given to that. There are already grassroots people that I know maybe don't have tens of $20,000, $30,000 to donate, but that are donating monthly. And it makes a difference. That collective, that money is starting to add up where we're getting monthly income in that 15 fund. That helps fund, the big picture and these players and give them opportunities. Because it is what it is. Mark Stoops, Mitch Barnhart, Art, UK, we didn't set these rules, but they are there, and so we have to play by them. And that's my answer with everything. It is what it is. Let's address it head on, and let's do it the best we can.
Well, you guys can't change the Supreme Court opinion. You just have to live with it, right? No, I mean, that is what it is.
Exactly. It is, and I feel like we are growing. The more we talk about it, the more we encourage, the more you're on here and your fan base. And there's people, like, an honest question is, tell me about it. I don't explain it. Like, it is new. And we need to continue to educate, continue to help people. But it's, essentially, we are up. We are off the ground. It's been helpful. And and I thank people for their support. And we need to continue to push with it.
It's Kentucky15.com. I have about a minute. Max is here. I always let you ask the final question to Mark.
Hey, Coach, it's your favorite punter here. You're very talkative today. I feel like you're on coffee 4 or 5. Hey, so you're obviously on the recruiting.
I'm out in Colorado here.
That's good.
So
That's good.
I'm excited. I get to see my kids. I needed to, so it's good.
Okay, well, in Colorado, I won't ask what you're on there. Hey, so during the recruiting trail, we saw you in the sling. Now, I don't want to say I started these rumors, but there was rumors going around that, obviously the new contract, $9 million and all that kind of thing. You reached into your pocket to get your wallet out. You weren't used to the weight that was in that wallet, and you popped it out. Is that true or not true?
That's not true. It's not true.
Well, how's the other guy then?
How's the other guy?
The other guy's worse than me, bud.
Mark, thank you very much for taking the time. We really do appreciate it. Enjoy the holidays with your kids, and we will see you at the bowl game.
Thank you all very much. Yep, take care.